G'day ladies and gents. While I'm having a bit of a chat, I will open all of this up so that we can watch the fish while I'm talking. So I know I'm a bit of a boring bastard, so we'll do this as well, shall we? Anyway, oh, there's a nice one. Nice big yabby sitting over there. You'll see the golden perch, mainly the silver perch. You'll see, but you might see some golden perch. Yeah, if you're really lucky, a barra or a Murray cod might roll past. You'll see how it goes. But you can see the mosquito fish around the place. That's how you'll see the Murray cod and the barra, is if one of these guys makes itself a little bit too well known. It'll bolt out and have a snack. That's what the little fellas are there for anyway. Same as with the yabbies. The yabbies have bred. I think this is the second time. Most of them are bred since I added them. Actually, there's a yabby upside down right there, having a bit of a feed at the surface. It's eating little bits of leftover fish food that are stuck in the plants, and also the roots off of the duckweed. Yabbies really seem to like the duckweed, and it creates little dark spots so that they can, you know, do their thing. But so there's a lot of baby yabbies in here that get cleaned up by the fish as well. Now, I'll point out when something comes by. I think there's a fish down there, but I can't quite see. It's got dark behind it. Anyway, I chose to have the living pond for the simple fact that I was going to build a pond anyway and chuck some Aussie fish in. So I thought, well, you know, I want it pretty natural and I want it saving water, so I want the water plants, especially the cover, so that it stops as much evaporation. And it also keeps the temp a bit more steady, because it does get really hot here in summer and it gets really cold in winter. I'm on one of the highest towns in SA and also on the eastern side of the Flinders Ranges. We're above the dry line here, the goiter line. So we don't get much rain. You know, a couple of years ago, you know, I think for a few years there running, we had 6, 8 and 9 days of rain for 3 years. So yeah, there's a yabby coming out down there. You can see his nippers on top of the pipes. He's a good size, and the same as that one that's in there. But so that's why I wanted to have it as a pond. And you know, I can come out and sit in the chair and read a book, and the fish can be swimming around, you know, the grandkids can get to see fish doing their thing, you know. If they pull back out the weed over here, sometimes you'll see the barra and the Murray cod and that doing their thing. It's just a bit hard to get in there with a camera like this though, but just at the surface. But sometimes you see them. Mainly you see the silver perch. They are really starting to get friendly, and usually you chuck in some food and then they all really come running. But I'll make a bit of a noise. And we'll see who comes around. There's another yabby down there. see, I haven't had disease problems. I haven't had, I gave up testing the water because it's always the same, it's always good. So, you know, I actually gave up testing, geez, I'd say middle of June I gave up testing the water, because week after week, you know, day after day, week after week, month after month, it was always the same. So, you know, a lot of the duckweed draws out toxins from the water. The lilies, all of the root systems create places to live, just like out in the wild. These structures for them to climb on, so, you know, if they want to climb around, they can. Houses just all over the place, as far as the yabbies go, and the fish, they can make their little homes in everywhere, all the little nooks and crannies between the pots and the roots, and underneath of all of these plants is big 80 litre pots that I've flipped upside down, cut a heap of holes in, and I've hung some shade cloth. I hang about 3 rows of shade cloth in each one of the pots, and cut holes just around the lip and about say a quarter of the way up, so that when you turn it upside down, the yabbies and that can climb in over the lip and inside of it and climb around, but also the fish can go in through the top. They've got places that they can escape from, and there's 4 holes all the way around, top and bottom, and those pots are what hold these up. There's 2 big pots under that, and then there's a couple more that have got plants sitting on top of them. Then you've got all of the PVC. I think there's 250 tubes total, usually in batches of 7 to 9 in a batch. And so there's plenty of places for yabbies, plenty of places for the fish, and they're doing really well. They're growing a lot quicker than I expected, to be honest. Growth rate for most of them should be around about 16 centimetres a year. I'm noticing that a 5-month-old golden perch that was 30 mil is now, 40 mil, was 40 mil and is now 20 centimetres, going off some footage that I watched last night, which is just incredible. Even the ones that I bought later in June, they were 50 mil. Some of those are getting up around 15 centimetres already for the silver perch. So they are really growing well, and there's some really good sized yabbies down there. It's a bit hard to get well, but so everything's growing well. The water quality is always good. Everything's always healthy, quite well fed. You know, mosquito fish are always breeding, and I quite often see the carnivorous, well, the more aggro fish anyway, I quite often see those darting out and grabbing something and going back in, but chances of filming them are not great, and when you do, it's basically just a blur. They don't hang around very much. Whereas silver perch, they're more into hanging around. Silver perch really like hanging out with the goldfish, and the golden perch hang around with the goldfish as well. but not as much as a silver perch. Silver perch are really friendly from what I see. And the barramundi and the Murray cod, they're pretty much, they just, you know, you do your thing, we'll do ours, you stay away from us, we'll just eat you when we want you. So that's their sort of attitude. They just hide away and nail something as it goes past every now and again. You sort of sit there and go, what the hell was that? But yeah, that's why I like this setup anyway. And the plants are absolutely loving it. Everything's healthy, plants and fish. So that's why I like it. Now also a problem. Some tool got in here the other night. Got him on camera, but I've got to try and clear it up a bit. You know, there's like cameras everywhere in this joint, and idiots still do it. But down there is a leak. They've gone through, I don't know whether they've stuck something into the side of it or into the bottom of it or what, but there's a leak down there. How I found it was just watching the footage and watching where they went and then looking for the hole. So I've got to redo this. Now, over on that side, the grey water tank is below that shed. And down, let's see, down between that bin that's got the filter, the pump in it, and the side of the pool, see where it's bent inwards. Well, down there is a square, I don't know what, but it's connected onto this anyway. I think it's just an outlet port or something like that. Probably goes to the piping that spreads it all through the ground. But this was the last area that I was chipping away before setting the pool in. All the rest of all the way around, except for this last quarter, that was the last bit that I had to clean out before putting the pool in and transferring everything back into here again when I set it up the last time. And I was pretty buggered, you know. I got a walking stick after an accident, and so I can't exactly carry a big heap of dirt every time. So I was digging it out in 10-litre buckets, carrying it around, emptying it, coming back, fill the bucket back up, go. And I was pretty buggered by the time I got, you know, by the time I found that. So I just wanted to get the fish back in it. So I sort of didn't worry about it. I put padding around it and dirt, and then put the pool in and filled it. Well, because of the leak, I'm going to have to drain it to patch it. So I've got a cheap pool, same size. It's not as good a quality though. I do like these Best Way ones compared to the cheaper ones. I'll set that out in front of the Toyota truck, and I'll transfer everything over and into that, all of the fish, yabbies, everything else. Then what I'll do is I will actually dig an extra foot all the way around that side so that I can actually spin it a little bit so that that side that's against the shed is parallel with the shed, and I'll move the entire thing this way a foot. I'll put some boards down which will give me a walkway down that side where I can also photograph the native bees and the peacock spiders that I'm finding out here. Peacock spiders are sort of really beautiful jumping spiders. The colours and the patterns is amazing, and they do a really nice little dance when they're attracting the females. Check them out. on Facebook there's a bloke, peacock spiders, and some of the photos that he's got are amazing. And new species are being found all the time. And as far as I know, there's basically next to nothing known about ones out here. And I've found about 5 different types of peacock spider out here so far. So you never know. Might get to name 1 or 3 or something. I don't know. Be pretty cool if I did. So I'm doing different filming of that lately as well, so that in the hopes that we can get some identified. There's one I found earlier on today actually with totally different coloration and patterns to the other ones that I showed the other day. So this is the 3rd different type here that I've got on film now. So hopefully, you know, get to know a bit more about them. So yes, I'll, you know, after building that walkway around there so that I can do the filming and stuff, then I'll get in and finish off putting more beds up here on that tabletop and that, and putting the overhead shade cloth in. Maybe going to a darker shade cloth around there and maybe a white on top, I don't know yet. See how it goes, especially during summer. I might get both just to be on the safe side, and that way if one doesn't work the other will. But yeah, after I've got the pond done, you know, I'll have to move this set of beds. I'll have to move all of that a little bit as well. I might rearrange some stuff actually, like where the parsley is. That's going to be a little bit too close to this bench if that was moved this way a foot, because that way those tyres would have to go over this way a foot as well. So I might move that further around to the side, which would also help to keep this shaded, even when the top one is across as well. So yeah, I'll be rearranging, moving and doing all sorts of things. So we'll see how it goes, but you know, it's a pain, but at the same time I'll be able to do something that I knew that I would have liked to have done at the start anyway. So at least it'll get done, be a little bit better. And I'll put in more underlay and that sort of stuff as well, so that you know, just to make it better. I would like to put a larger one out the front. I was actually talking to somebody on Facebook about it last night, because of the temperatures here, so extreme. I'll keep an eye on the temperature at the bottom of this one over summer. And what I will do is, if the temperatures down the bottom are pretty much low enough, or you know, depending on what they are, I would like to put a 2 metre deep or deeper out the front, and maybe run more aquaponics, or just have it as a pond. I don't know yet. I haven't fully decided, but I'll see. But yeah, I would like to, there's one of the goldies. I'd like to do that. So I'd like to have trout really, but it all depends on the temperature. There's no use, you know, wanting trout and buying trout, and after a little bit they all cart it. You know, I don't think I've lost a fish in here yet. Now, since I rebuilt it the last time, all of the fish I've got in here, I'm pretty sure they're all still in here. Using different cameras around the place and the different markings on the fish, you know, different ones have got little nicks in the tails or the top fins and that sort of stuff that, you know, yeah, they grow out, but you can sort of, especially when I drop cameras in every day, so I sort of get to know which fish is which. Although the big one from yesterday did take me by surprise. But like I say, that was from a spot that I don't usually look at, just because of how dark it is over there. But yeah, I need to get this done anyway because of the amount of water it's leaking. It's leaking upwards of 600 litres a day at the moment. That's why it's a little bit low at the moment as well. It's usually higher than what it is now. But I'm going to find out who it is, and I'm not going to be real happy about it. But, you know, people want to do silly things. They got to expect silly consequences. Alrighty guys, well that's the plans, and that is why I chose to go a natural pond or a natural pool for my aquaponics system. So, hope you all have a good day, and I shall catch you later. See ya.